If you went looking for someone to defend your civil liberties, you would probably opt for a character from a John Grisham novel, brilliant, articulate, and armed with an Ivy League law degree. Yet citizens who dread being kept under relentless surveillance by an intrusive government had to settle for a rather less admirable champion, Antoine Jones, a convicted drug dealer turned Washington, D.C. nightclub owner. In 2005, it looked like time for Jones to pack his toothbrush again. He and several associates were arrested in a combined city and federal drug raid that turned up more than 100 kilograms of cocaine and $850,000 in cash. It was the biggest drug seizure in the city's history, and it had all been made possible by the cunning application of GPS technology. Yet, in due time, the very locational technology that had promised an open and shut case for the prosecution would lead them to defeat, establishing a new legal precedent in defense of a citizen's right to be left alone. There are limits to how far the government can go in using advanced location techniques to keep tabs on us. But those limits will have to be imposed by legislation, judicial fiat, or public outrage. They are no longer fixed by technology. As we have seen in the preceding chapters, mankind has essentially solved the problem of location. Thanks to cellular phones, Wi-Fi, global positioning system satellites, and dagger-sharp aerial and satellite photos of the planet, it is possible for the first time in human history for anybody to find out where he is relative to anybody or anything else on the surface of the earth. Yet it is just as easy for government agencies and corporations to track us. The same smartphones that steer us to the mall constantly transmit our exact locations, and phones are being supplemented with other location methods that are even subtler and often far more insidious. For centuries, people have been able to disappear. By moving to a new continent or a new city, a man could effectively vanish from the sight of his fellows. He could cast off the dead weight of past mistakes and create a new life for himself. Not anymore. With its social security numbers, credit cards, and driver's licenses, the 20th century made it nearly impossible to live the anonymous life. Governments and businesses track our dollars, take note of our employers, memorize the addresses of every home we have ever lived in, and retain the vehicle identification numbers of every car we have ever driven.